Hey everyone, this video features a guest coming all the way from Colmar, Pennsylvania. His name is Matt Molloy and he trains at the Lion's Den. He's actually Joey Zatmary's boss. The first video of his that I saw was called Exercise Does Not Affect Weight Loss. And I really enjoyed it, so I'm glad that he's here making a video for this channel. This video is for anyone looking to join the military, anyone who wants to compete in a Spartan race, or a Tough Mudder, really anyone who wants to incorporate conditioning outside of the gym. Matt is going to talk about how to incorporate running alongside your strength training routine, so get out a pad and paper and take some notes. I hope you enjoy it.
What's up, Matt? How's the throw video going, dude?
Going great, man. I just sent in the ideas to him today, so I'm just waiting on his response now.
What ideas you sent him?
Sent him a bunch of strongman stuff, a few general strength ideas, and then one running idea, but like, he's not gonna pick the running idea anyways, that'd be awkward.
Why would it be awkward?
I mean, let's be honest, Joe, I haven't ran in 5 years now, hardly know what I'm talking about, but he's not gonna pick a running idea, it's a strength channel.
Nah.
I think that's him now. Got money, he picks the log video.
Yeah, dude, that one's a good one.
So, let's see.
You good, Matt? Where'd he go?
What's going on, guys? My name is Matt, and first off, huge shout out to Alan for having me on the channel. I've been watching this channel for years now, and it's been a huge part of my development in strength training, so to now be featured on the channel myself is actually pretty crazy to me. Couldn't be more appreciative of the opportunity, and I'm super pumped to make this video for you guys. So I'm one of the coaches here at the Lion's Den, and by now you should all be very familiar with the owner. I've been coaching here coming on a year now, and before that I was freshly graduated from the University of Pittsburgh with a degree in exercise science, so yes, I'm a little on the young side if you couldn't tell by my lack of fantastic facial hair. I would consider myself for the most part a strongman athlete. You can see some of that here. Fairly new into the sport, but I've absolutely fallen in love with it. I'll actually be competing as a lightweight in USS Nationals, which is coming up in, as of right now, a week. Oh God. I also really like powerlifting style training, and obviously I incorporate that to help boost up my strongman training. I just haven't competed in it yet, so I feel uncomfy calling myself a powerlifter. Soon though, soon. But what's most important for this video is before I got into strength training, before I got into strongman, I looked like this. All 128 pounds of my long distance running self. Yes, I've had the unique experience of being stupid enough to switch myself from my very type 1 dominant muscle fiber self out of endurance sports into the very type 2 dominant world of strength sports, and that's kind of what this whole video is about. Having been in the deep end of both sports, I want to help those of you out that have to realistically combine both strength and endurance for one reason or another, do so without affecting your strength progress while increasing your endurance, and doing so in a manner that doesn't take you hours upon hours to complete. Whether it be the running portion of a PFT for military or police, for some reason or another your muscle-bound self wants to run a 5K, or you're interested in adventure-style races like the Spartan race, but you don't want your strength to completely tank because you've introduced running, I've got you covered. But first, I think it's only appropriate to change into character. little tighter than what I remember. Now, I do believe you can reliably train yourself to increase both your endurance and your strength at the same time, but I'd like to set the expectation that you're not going to be a top tier athlete at both of these domains, both strength and endurance, at the same time. These are two different energy systems we're working with, and the stimulus demands to properly train either ends up taking us in opposite directions of each other. So the deeper you go into one domain, the further the other is going to suffer. So what I'm going to propose to you guys is actually going to have a heavy strength bias to it. I want you guys to remain your fast and powerful selves, but I also want your endurance to go up. So what we're going to do is work with some focused, higher intensity endurance workouts that should increase your endurance, but it should also complement your strength program. I'm doing this through the lens of running because that's what I believe the vast majority of people would actually need this video for, but general conditioning would work here as well. The only issue is having a good set of lungs isn't going to save you on a 2-mile run if you haven't been properly training your muscles. Once those calves start to cramp up, your abs start to cave in on you, or a runner's worst nightmare, the dreaded booty lock sets in, it's game over for your run. So just keep things specific to whatever your needs are. If your endurance event is biking, you should be biking. If it's swimming, you should be swimming, running. We all know this because this is exactly how we lay out our strength programs. Specificity is always king. Whew. Okay, so first thing we're going to do here is replace all the conditioning that's already in your strength programming with conditioning that's specific to running. Now I know you already have conditioning in your programming because I know you're all disciplined disciples of strength. Okay, being realistic, most likely the first thing we're going to do is actually introduce conditioning into your program. And yes, in this case, it'll be specific to running. Don't worry, I'm not judging you guys. I was there myself. Normal strength programming will usually have around 2 to 3 conditioning sessions a week. For your endurance goals, I suggest bumping up to around 3 to 4. If you're really feeling yourself, you could even go 5 days a week, but if you're keeping the sessions at a high enough intensity, it's not necessary. Now I know you're sitting there like, dude, I already have 4 to 5 strength days to contend with. Now you want me to add 3 to 4 more training days in? I have a job, I have a wife, I have kids. I know. It's all good. First point of good news is you can fit these in whenever. It can be after a strength workout, same day as a strength workout, at a different time, or it can even be on your off days. Off days is actually where I'd recommend trying to put these the most. Some light body weight conditioning, always good to keep some blood flowing in the body. You might realize you're actually feeling a little bit better for your next strength day, as opposed to just lying around all day on your rest day. And second, there's probably a way for you to speed up the amount of time you're spending in the gym on your strength workout. And you guys already know the right spot to go for that. Alan's got the video right on his channel. And then third, the workouts I'm going to propose to you guys aren't those boring 60-minute jogs to nowhere, or 20-minute focus conditioning sessions, just like you do on any normal conditioning session you did in the gym. Throw away the idea that training to run is setting a timer for 60 minutes, stepping out your front door, hoping that your new and improved Spotify playlist is going to get you through this boring trek through hell, and then blacking out for the next hour and not really paying attention to what you're doing. This is where I see people mess up with endurance training all the time. There's no real game plan. Sometimes they're even stepping out the door with the goal of just running until they're tired. How many times have you stepped into the gym to squat and bench until you were tired? Actually, maybe I don't want to know the answer to that. This is the running equivalent of doing 3 sets of 10 of the same 5 exercises every single time you step into the gym, and then wondering why the guy on block periodization is kicking your ass and you're not making any progress. Your running should have a game plan, and in this case, it's going to be based off of that pace you need to hit for your test, or a goal pace that you want to hit for that 5K or adventure race. Just figure out how fast of a mile you have to be running consistently, and that's going to be your goal pace. So if you got a 2-mile test, you got to run it in 15 minutes, you need to be able to run 7.5-minute miles consistently. We'll use this to kind of help us plan out our workouts. Yeah, I'm not doing that the whole time. Just keep in mind There's a bunch of different interpretations of what I'm about to tell you, so my way isn't the only way. Our first workout is going to be an interval workout, and I'll give you two different ways that you can do this. So the first one is going to be a 20-minute run, 2 minutes on jogging, and then 1 minute on your race pace or faster. And you're just going to alternate that pattern until you finish up your 20 minutes or whatever you got time for that day. This is just a good way to build up your threshold for your race pace without theoretically killing you in the process. Okay, now the other style of interval training we can do here is true track style interval training. For this one, you're gonna head to your local high school or middle school track, whatever you've got available to you, and you're gonna do exactly what it sounds like. We're gonna hit some laps. So, as an example, say you're just starting out on your goal, you could head to the track, say, I'm gonna run 400-meter laps today, and I'm gonna hit them all at my race pace, and then between each lap, you'll give yourself full recovery, around 3 to 5 minutes, but whatever you need for a full recovery. And then obviously you could linearly progress this to whatever your needs are. So maybe the 400 meters are too easy, you bump it up to 800 meters. Maybe that's too easy, you bump it up to the full mile. Whatever you need to kind of linearly progress yourself up to your race for the full distance at the correct pace. Just like the first style of interval training, this is just a good way to get you used to that race pace and kind of have you knowing how far you can run with that race pace and then slowly build you up from there without completely destroying yourself. Okay, so run style number 2 here is gonna be what's called a tempo run. Now, tempo runs are pretty similar to your interval runs, except instead of being based off of that race pace that we were talking about, it's all just based off of your own effort. Now the goal of a tempo run is to hit what is a comfortably difficult intensity level. So, if you had someone running next to you, while you wouldn't be able to speak complete sentences to them, you wouldn't also not be able to speak to them. Basically speaking, you're towing the line between a nice, uncomfortable intensity level, but also not shooting all the way up to a full out max effort sprint or max effort run. The whole point of the tempo run in the first place is increasing your endurance at higher intensity levels. So you'll be able to run for a higher intensity level for a longer period of time. So if you have problems gassing out early in endurance events, this is probably the workout I'd look into. Setting this up is actually really easy. You're gonna run a 5-minute warm-up jog, hit the tempo for around 10 to 20 minutes, and that's just gonna be that consistent intensity level that we just talked about, and then a cool down jog for 5 minutes. And the amount of time you spend on this, of course, just determined by how much time you have. Okay, and this brings us to our final workout, which is called a fartlek. This is basically a jog with sporadic sprints thrown in. So kind of like your interval training, but really freaking random. Now usually with this workout, there's an angry track coach involved, but if you don't have an angry track coach, an equally sadistic friend will do as well. If you don't have an equally sadistic friend, then any of the running apps you can find on your phone or any of the apps for HIIT style training should work as well. Basically all you need is either a random whistle blowing or a random beep going off for you to sprint. Every time the beep sounds, you're gonna sprint, and then when it sounds again, you're gonna stop, and you're gonna continue that pattern for whatever time you've got. In this case, we'll set it for that 20 minutes. The whole point of this is really just to break up the monotony of the other workouts. Fartleks are really random, they're a bit more fun than the other workouts, and you don't really have to think too much other than sprint or don't sprint. You're still gonna get a great training stimulus from this, but it's gonna help break up the monotony of your other runs and keep you having fun at the same time. Theoretically. If you watch my videos, you'll quickly realize I never finish them in one go. But yeah guys, those are the workouts that you're gonna plug in for your conditioning days. Again, feel free to modify them how you like. How I describe them is not the exact way that they're run. There's multiple different ways to do them all, so modify them how you like and then just get to work. If you're shooting for 4 to 5 days a week and that higher intensity running is kind of beating you up, you can switch in some recovery runs, and that's just a comfortable jogging pace for you, but it's still got, you know, a bit of a pace to it, a bit of a clip. You're not just going through the motions there, and that'll kind of act as active recovery for you, so you're not just getting beaten up every time you're going for a run. If this is the first time you're adding in conditioning like this, you might complain, you know, the first few weeks, maybe even up to a month, that you're rather sore from it, or maybe you're a little tired for your strength workouts, and I would say this is kind of expected. It's kind of like the first time you increase the frequency of a lift. If you went from benching once a week to benching 3 times a week, I'm expecting you to be sore those first few weeks, and I'm expecting you maybe not to feel so hot those first few weeks. But as you get used to it, as you adapt to it, it's going to pay dividends, and it's going to be same thing with this running. It should actually end out that you're no longer sore from it, and you're actually getting more conditioned, so maybe those volume sets of 8 to 10 don't feel so bad to you anymore. In the end, this shouldn't feel any different than adding on normal conditioning to your already existing strength program. You can linearly progress this stuff and get pretty far linearly progressing it, and the only time I'd say you'd need more advanced programming is if you were actually trying to be a racer, which I'm hoping or thinking that all of you lifter types are not trying to be a track star and a lifter at the same time. But yeah, if you're just trying to pass that PFT or hit that goal time for a 5K or adventure race, you're going to be just fine putting in that focus work for 20 minutes on these workouts, and it's going to pay you way more dividends than, you know, jogging about for 60 minutes with no real goal in mind. And for those of you that are worried that your muscle's going to waste away or your strength's going to deteriorate because you're now running, I want to assure you that you're going to be okay. The only reason that would realistically become an issue is if you were actually trying to be a cross-country runner and powerlifter at the same time. Yes, trying to run 70 plus miles a week and try and hit 4 to 5 intense strength sessions a week, probably not going to work out. But hitting 4 to 5 strength sessions a week and some 20-minute focus workouts, piece of cake. That's going to be it for this video, guys. For those of you that did make it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching the video. As a millennial, I know how the internet works, I know how people react to things, and I imagine a lot of people's first reactions to clicking on this video is something like this. Another fitness YouTuber? Just got out of college? A lightweight? Why didn't you just say you don't lift? No beard? So I really do appreciate you guys who made it all the way to the end. Hope this helps out those of you that needed this video. Thanks so much to Alan for having me on the channel. Joey for watching. Thanks for constantly giving me the push to get me to where I am today and constantly helping me out with everything involved. Hope to see you guys all in future videos. Thanks so much for watching, and catch y'all next time.
Thank you very much, Matt, for making that video. If you guys have any questions, drop them down below in the comment section. I'll link all of Matt's info down in the description area of this video. Thanks for watching, and always remember, tread on time.